thank you for two speakers who were before me. I used to be an academic, so I very much come from a scientific background. However, I lived in Northern Territory in Australia, in far Northern Territory in Darwin, which is probably the most isolated city in the world. And I was living there for 6 years, and I worked there for the Charles Darwin University, and it was very hard for me to establish virtual reality research in such a small university. I was the research group. So after I realised that I couldn't do what I wanted to do at university, I started my own company. And that's what you see here, Atmosphaeres, 360-degree videos for stress, pain and anxiety relief. Now, there's a Gamescom brief which goes, I picked a couple of points from the brief that we got. So the long road to a new rise and fall and rise of virtual reality, and the main factor for this is the games industry. To a certain degree, I agree, because the games industry has definitely given us the hardware. Okay. However, 360-degree video is actually a surprise for the entire industry, because this is developed for games, but later on people decide, oh, hang on, we can put panoramic 360-degree photos and videos into these devices. And that's when they started to realize, oh, here's a totally, completely new use case for what used to be a gaming platform. Now, the other thing that I took out of the Gamescom brief, because it very much concerns me, is the monetization of the content. And there's a lot of demos, 2 minute, 1 minute, oh, look at this fancy stuff that I've done over here, and me on the beach and with my buddies at the bar and all that sort of stuff, but there are no commercial products. Very few commercial products. There's very little content available, even in the ecosystems of Samsung, of Oculus, and so forth. Okay. Now, that's over now, because I do have a commercial system, or a commercial product, and that is relaxation environments. So the complete opposite to VR coaster. I'm actually taking you to a quiet and peaceful place where you can relax. Now, a little bit of background, so you understand maybe a little bit about my history. As I said, I'm a research academic, and I worked in academia for a little bit more than 3 years, and working in virtual reality, and my research, my PhD topic was the effect of music on learning in virtual realities. So how can we use music to facilitate learning in virtual environments? I also used to be a tour guide, as you can see up there in the middle, and top right, and I used to and still am an HSR recordist, which has multiple reasons. I was born here in Germany, I moved to Australia for my honours thesis, and in Australia it was the first time that I experienced what it was like to be in an environment without man-made noise. And that made such an impact on my life that I decided to capture those moments. First in audio, so I've to date recorded 9 nature sound, pure nature sound recording albums, just to capture nature sounds and peace and quiet. And together with my virtual reality research and my background as a tour guide, everything sort of came together, and now I'm creating virtual environments where I take people into remote areas where they can find peace and quiet. And you can see I'm also a relaxation expert. So I love being out in nature, and I want to share that with people. I want to give people the opportunity who cannot go to these places because they're sick, because they can't go physically, they don't have the money, they don't have the time, the elderly, etc. So just a couple of pictures from production. So you see the camera holder that I've got here. And this is really my workhorse. There's a lot of copycats of this design by Jürgen Geertz. This is a Freedom 360 that I'm using. This is the original, and it has held up very, very well. There's other copycats that fall apart, and you can't put them through the stress, etc. So I very much love this. That's us at the Cliffs of Moher. And out there you see me actually using my own relaxation environments on the plane. And it's actually fascinating. You would think that, well, that looks dorky, that looks strange. But as soon as you pop on the glasses, you don't see the people around you. They disappear. And you are in a different place, and you're actually relaxing. There's no plane. The only thing you feel, of course, is the chairs, they're restricted. And I reckon in 2 to 3 years' time, we will see people in the plane like this all over the place. Okay, relaxation at home. So these are some of the places that I have the absolute pleasure and luxury, you might say, and privilege to visit. So this is an island, and you will find this place actually in one of my Atmosphaeres. That's what I call my 360 relaxation environments. And you can sit here by this lake for 4 or 5 minutes and you can just relax. It's very beautiful. This is in the Northern Territory, the Daintree rainforest. This photo was taken before I actually started recording 360 video, but I want to go back. So next year I'm doing a circuit around Australia to record more of these environments for my Atmosphaeres. This was in Portugal, the Praia da Ursa, a very popular scene. People really love watching that. And the same spot, just on a little further up the track. Now, these are the Atmosphaeres that are currently available. I've got 4 videos. Portugal, Ireland, Dream Beach 360. That one has 8 scenes, is very serene, beautiful nature sounds, and some soothing music to go with it. A walk on the beach takes you to several locations on a beach, and you can sit there and enjoy it. The other 2, Portugal and Ireland, they have between 25 and 30 scenes. So there's a little bit more variety in scenes. And I'd like to show you a quick demo, at least of one of them. So this is the Colorize player. It's a 360 video player. Colorize is also this software company that is providing the software that they use for stitching those 6 individual videos into one. And they have recently been bought by GoPro, or acquired by GoPro. So, just give you a quick. There. That's right. That's the classic. Doesn't work. You know that, right? There you go. I'll just skip the intro. And you want to have sound? You have sound? So now imagine this, what I'm showing you here on the screen, when you wear this. And you can actually look in every direction. I actually use these videos myself at home, and they actually work on me. And I'm very, very critical of these virtual environments. Yeah, the sheets are a favourite. I don't know why. People seem to love sheep. Yeah, so yeah, I might make that a theme. You know, in all of my groups, have one scene sheep, something like that. Okay, so that's enough of a demo. But that's only one part of the story. There's also some serious applications for virtual realities and for the 360 videos that I produce, and I'm very happy that one of our collaborators, Dr. Zawa from the clinic in Fassbender, is actually here today, so thank you for coming. We're still working out the kinks of how we can work together. But yeah, it's very exciting work, and I'm looking forward to taking this further. So this is for pain reduction, and there's already research that's been going on since 2006, 2008, and you can see that overall patients reported a large statistically significant, clinically meaningful reduction in pain during their treatment with VR. They were having burn wounds treated. And they could reduce the amount of analgesics that are being given to these patients. Not completely take them out, but reduce. You know, that means less side effects, that means less costs, and so forth and so forth. Stress reduction is another more serious application, which sort of goes in hand with the relaxation that I do as well. Results of these studies, they show that stress recovery was enhanced. People recover faster from stress even while using these peaceful forest environments. And anxiety reduction is also another main topic. Now, this is a computer-generated environment. However, they still saw some significant improvements of the emotional state of participants, and here comes my own personal pride. This is one of my customers, who's actually using the Dream Beach 360 video in his hospital bed, and he says most of the content that he had on his EVR made him feel more sick and anxious. After about 5 minutes of playing the Atmosphaeres, the Dream Beach 360, he was feeling much more relaxed and free. And this made me really, really proud when I saw this posted on Facebook. I had nothing to do with this. It was very, very encouraging. Now, cooperation partners, I already mentioned Institute for Meditation Psychophysics doing the anxiety-free operating theatre. I'm very much looking forward to strengthening that conversation, cooperation. And then SciTech in the US with their anxiety management VR platform FORCE, Counselling Sydney, and then also University of Hong stress and break. Yeah, I need to rush. Okay, I'll just get very briefly, because this is one thing that the Gamescom brief actually asked of us. How about the development cost of these environments? The hardware, everything together, roughly 4,000 to 5,000 euros. There's another 1,000 euros for the software, roughly, and that is assuming that you've got a computer and Adobe software and that sort of stuff. The amount of work that needs to go into this, roughly for one scene, 1 minute of video, it takes me 1 hour of stitching those 6 videos into one. Then I've got a template, and then I can render the scene, and that takes me, for 1 minute, about 10 minutes of rendering, and then I need to compress that, which is another 10 minutes. Okay. For 30 scenes, like with Portugal VR, for example, which is a 20-minute video altogether, it takes the entire process of stitching, rendering, and editing in Premiere Pro, and authoring in Premiere Pro, rendering from there again, compressing, and publication, roughly 4 weeks. Man hours, one man working on this almost the entire time. Okay. Time it took me to actually learn how to do this well, 9 months. There's a There's a couple of people who do this in a couple of weeks, but you see the difference. You really do see the difference. I actually do give training, and I also do video production for other companies. That website, 360 Galaxies, is currently forwarded to my Atmosphaeres website, but I expect some more coming on that website soon. And also, from next week onwards, I'm a colour certified trainer for the stitching software for the production, pre-production, production, and post-production of 360-degree video. And watch out for the Bavarian Alps. It's coming soon. Thank you.